Live. We're going live. Go live. There we go. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of a Facebook Live with Dr. O. This is I'm Dr. Olabintan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center, where I help patients live long and well, because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. And today we're having conversations in line with that. And I'm honored and delighted to have Dr. Sharita. She's a friend, she's a classmate, she's cool peoples all around. To have her on here to talk to us about me time. And the topic is, Doc, how do I find and why do I need me time in the midst of all the things I got to do? Thank you so much, Doc, for coming this evening. I know you're busy, so I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here with you and with your audience this evening.
All right, awesome, awesome. For those of you who are watching live, hashtag live. Those who are watching replay, hashtag replay. And that being said, Doc, I want you to please kindly introduce yourself. Please don't be humble. Just introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
I am Dr. Sharita Gaskins Tillett. I am the founder and CEO of Level Up Lady Doc, which is actually getting ready to go through a transition. But I'm also the retreat host for A Weekend for Me, the premier wellness experience for professional women. And so I host retreats and online and in person events for professional women who are feeling burned out and frustrated with their lives and are looking to take back their control, to reclaim their power to change their lives.
Awesome. Doc, why do you do what you do? Why did you decide that this is something, I mean, that you wanted to do and help women in? Like, why? What was the story behind it?
Yeah, it's kind of a merging of things. And
Okay.
so, I'm an OBGYN physician by training. So I did not say that in my introduction. But I'm an OBGYN. And so as such, I'm a women's health advocate and just a women's advocate in general. And then before I attended medical school, I actually planned events in one of my jobs. And so this is kind of a meshing of things. So it allows
Mm,
me to plan events, but it also allows me to empower women. And so
mm,
that's why retreats in particular.
okay.
But in general, or I guess I would say for why specifically I decided to do this kind of retreat is I had my own epiphany. I was going through a time after I was an full spectrum OBGYN,
Mm,
and I got married, had a baby, and moved all in the same year. And I found myself, running on autopilot and looking around and
mm,
wondering whose life this was because I no longer recognized my life as my life. And
mm,
it wasn't until I was on vacation that I actually had enough time to breathe and to look around and to sit with my own thoughts. And so, it made me realize how many other women are out there who don't have time to actually sit with their thoughts and figure out their lives. That trip gave me opportunity to start thinking about, what my life had become, and then what I really wanted my life to be, because I found that I was doing all the things that I'd always done as an OBGYN, but my personal life had changed completely and I
mm.
made no adjustments for that. And so, but it just in that having that downtime, having that time to myself allowed me to take an honest look at my life. And that's what I try to give to other women at this point, to give them an opportunity to step away from their normal grind so that they can take an honest look at their lives and figure out what they want their lives to look like. Because they might find that they're good with how things are and maybe
Mm.
just a few little tweaks, or they may want a complete overhaul. But if you are just going and going and going and never take the time to stop and think and process, you won't know.
Hmm. You said something very instructive. You said you had, family life had expanded, married with kids, but you had not made adjustments to that new. Um, Now, for someone who's watching, who's like, well, um, me time, doesn't that sound kind of unrealistic, kind of selfish, kind of like like, how would you address that one who's looking like, well, doesn't it come with a territory where you're supposed to not have time for yourself,
Well, no,
even as you transition?
Well, I actually I disagree with that. Self-care is a superpower as far as I'm
Mm,
concerned, because when you don't take care of yourself, you don't have the bandwidth to adequately care for other people. And so it's
yeah.
almost like, it's cliche really to say, put on your own oxygen mask, like on the airplane, but it's similar to that. If you need to
Mm,
take care of yourself first so that you're in a better position to take care of the people that are depending on you.
yeah.
And if you don't take care of yourself, not only can you not take care of other people, you're not going to be well. And so you're increasing your risk for chronic disease, you're increasing your risk for depression, a whole plethora of things.
Okay. I think even just in having this conversation to at least put ourselves on the list as a priority, looking like I think this is the first step. Realizing that it's not a selfish thing, but it's a necessary thing. You
Right.
mentioned it as a superpower. So as you do this, you're actually more your bandwidth, your capacity to be
Exactly.
all the things you are is actually increased. Um,
And not just your
that's
capacity, but also your quality of life, the quality of your relationships. Because when you take care of yourself, you're better able to be fully present in your life. And that's what we find a lot of times. Women who are burned out or who are doing that, you're living on autopilot. You're just going from thing to thing to thing to thing and not really experiencing and feeling the fullness of life. And so it really gives you your life back to be able to take that time, and it doesn't have to be a lot of time. I can
mm,
remember when my daughter was an infant. One of my friends came over and sat with her for a little bit, and I was making a return to Home Goods, and I got to Home Goods, and I felt so free, like you would have thought I was in a spa, like I'm
shopping. Yes,
walking
grocery
around
shopping.
window shopping and just having the best time. To the point where she actually called to ask if I was okay because I'd been gone so long. But just that hour and a half or whatever in Home Goods really, helped to reinvigorate me, because you do need time, time for yourself.
And what you're saying in that example also, it's not a question of I'm just going to ignore everybody and go away. It's accepting the help that is accessible to us, the options people give us to allow for some me time, recognizing them for what it is as part of your fuel to keep
Right.
going. That's big. All right, so Doc, let's talk me time. For some people, they think that me time is going to do your nails and getting a pedicure, and some people are like, I don't like doing that. I actually find it a little annoying to get people touching my
Well,
toes.
right.
So what is me time and
Me
why is that important?
me time is very personal. So it's what it's the things that give you life, the things that fuel you. So you mentioned, some people don't like getting their nails done. Some people don't like massages. I'm a massage girl. I have my massages scheduled. They're on the calendar. I automate my self-care, right? So they're on the calendar for every 2 weeks. But not everybody likes massages. Some people are ticklish. They don't like to be touched, whatever. But it's the things that feed your soul, the things that make you feel more human and more grounded. And like I said, it's very personal. It could be any number of things. It
Mm.
can be a bubble bath. It could be taking a walk, reading a book, taking a nap, having a lunch date with a friend, going on a date with your significant other. And all of those things are part of self care and me
Awesome.
time, so to speak.
It's- And it's unique to you.
It
It's unique
is.
to you. I
It's
like
very
that.
personal.
Very personal. Now, I have someone who's asking, like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's important to have me time. It's important to do self care. But how would you define the balance? Like, any tips as far as the balance between meeting all your responsibilities and taking time for oneself?
Well, the thing is, we have a tendency not to prioritize ourselves. We as women, we kind of, our me time, our self care goes at the bottom of the list. It kind of falls in the cracks. If there's enough time left over, we'll do X, Y, and Z. So I think the first thing to do is to recognize the need to prioritize your me time. Like I mentioned, that I automate my self care in terms of the
Mm,
massages. I think things like that, actually having it on the schedule and making it a non-negotiable. Because
mm,
you have to at least embrace and understand that if you are not well, if you haven't taken care of yourself, you're not in the best position to care for other people, and so therefore it is necessary. And so I don't even look at it so much as a matter of balance. I look at it as a necessity. and something that
Mm,
you have to incorporate into your life, into your lifestyle. And so, like I said, it may be something as simple as a 10-minute walk, a couple of times a week. You start small, you start where you are. Um, but recognize that you need that time, for prayer and meditation and other things, just again to check in with yourself. A lot of times we don't stop to see how we're doing. I had a conversation with a colleague not too long ago, and she was telling me about a time that she was in a bookstore and she came across a book that was asking, what does everyone need right now, including you? This is about families.
mm,
And she said when she read the including you, it brought her to tears because she realized she knew what her husband needed, what her children needed, what the dog needed, but she had no idea what she needed. And we really do need to take that time to check in with ourselves, to see where we are and how we're doing and how we're feeling and what we actually need, because you matter. You're supposed to be the star of your own life. You're not a supporting character in your own life.
mm,
You matter. And so you
mm,
have to prioritize yourself. So like I said, it's not a matter of balance, so much as it is prioritizing and
mm.
making sure that, your self care, your me time is a part of your daily life.
I love how you said you're not the supporting character of your life.
Well, you shouldn't be. You're not supposed to be.
You're not supposed to be. Wow. Wow. Um, and you talked about prioritizing. I kind of want to share this example too. I remember a time in my life when I felt like, man, everybody's doing self care. I can't do self care. It's not something that I'm a caring person. I have to not do that. And then when I took time to see what was important to me, my prayer life, my meditating, that time with me and God, that's self care. And
It is.
recognizing it for what it is also is empowering to see that you are depositing in yourself. And those time zones when it's non negotiables, like you mentioned. So scheduling those things that you know that feed your joy, that fuel you to be who you are called to be is very, very important. Um, Doc, my next question is this though. What is some common signs for someone who's watching who's like, oh, I'm an exception. I don't need me time. I'm good. This is how I roll. Are there signs or signals that someone may need more me time in their life than they're aware of?
Yeah, if you're feeling irritable a lot, like you have a short fuse, with your family, with your friends, with the people that you love, that may be a sign that you need some me time. If you find that, again, we talked about autopilot. If you're doing everything on autopilot, you're not really enjoying or not really engaged in life. If you're feeling like you're observing your life rather than being a full participant in your life, you probably could use some me time. Um, if you are, I forget what the next thing was I was thinking about. But yeah, but I guess those are the big things. Like if you're kind of an observer in your own
Mm.
universe, if you're
Wow.
feeling irritable, just not really engaged.
If you're an observer in your own universe, wow, wow. And what I'm hearing a lot of, because I'm taking notes too, mental notes, because this is very important, is that you want to you want to live a rich life where you're actively engaged and you're enjoying as you go, not necessarily looking for a destination where when all is said and done, then I'm going to, because you
Right.
realize looking back that it had been the journey all along.
Exactly.
You help women see that sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, it's all about, understanding that we only get one life. And I think that's the thing. I've, always been kind of sensitive to the passage of time, and I don't want
Hmm.
to waste time. I don't want to miss my life. And that's what I feel like we do when we're just going and going and going, and we're not stopping to, to check in and not stopping to make changes and, modifications and those kinds of things. We're missing our life, and life is a precious gift. And I just think that it's so important, so vital that we maximize our time here. I'm of the belief that we're all created on purpose with a purpose. And if you're just doing all of these things that other people have imposed upon you, chances are you haven't even uncovered your purpose, let alone living in your purpose. And you were created for that purpose because the world needed a you. There's not going to be another me. There's not going to be another Tolu. The world needs us, and it needs us in our in the fullness of us, in everything that we have to offer. And you can't really uncover that and discover that if you're not taking time to, like I said, take regular inventory to see where you are and to figure out where your next steps are should be.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you so much, Doc. Now, can we talk about the benefits? I know you kind of alluded to them, but I kind of want us to spell out like why is it important mentally, emotionally? How can me time positively impact with our
Oh my
mental
goodness.
health, emotional health? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, taking me time actually impacts every system in your body. Number one, if you get enough sleep, then you have the energy to do the things that you need to do. If you are taking care of yourself in terms of your diet, you're going to be healthier. You're going to have a healthier weight. You're going to
Mm,
have more energy to, play with your kids or take care of the tasks that you need to do. If you're taking time for yourself, you're going to have less depression, less anxiety, those kinds of things. Like I said, every organ system really can benefit from you taking time to take care of yourself. That's why I say it's a superpower, because it really does help to fortify you, yes, in every way.
awesome, awesome. Now, I have someone who's watching who's like, all right, I need tips. How can I communicate my need for me time to family members or colleagues without feeling guilty or selfish? What would you say to
I
that, Doc?
think, again, when you normalize it really. And so in the beginning, people may feel like, you're being selfish or whatever. I think it's important to explain to your loved ones why you need this and what the benefits are to you and to them of you having this time. Because, again, if you're irritable and those kinds of things, they're noticing that. And if you're taking your me time and your personality is better, they're noticing that too. And so, again, in the beginning, it may be, oh, well, you're getting a massage. Why are you doing that? Where are you going? Now they know every 2 weeks on Sunday evening, that's where I'll be. And it's just part of, our normal routine. And that's why it's important to normalize it and prioritize it so that you don't have to make an explanation. And again, they will begin to see the benefits. They will see that you're more fully present. They'll notice the quality of the conversations and the quality of the time that you're spending with them improving.
Mm, 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 Awesome, awesome. Now, last question before we wrap up. Are there any misconceptions about me time that you'd like to address? Like, what are common misconceptions you have that people say, and how would you address that real briefly?
Well, I mean, we've kind of hit on it already, that me time is selfish. And honestly, I think it's more selfish not to engage in me time. Because again, you're cheating everybody when you don't do that. You're cheating yourself, and you're cheating the people that you have some responsibility to take care of, because you're not at your fullest, you're not at your best. And when you're not at your best, you can't provide things for other people. I
Mm,
think the things that are, that can compose me time sometimes can be confusing. Again, it's very personal. And it could be anything, even as simple as your preventive care appointments. Even that, while it's not the me time that we traditionally think about, it's still you taking care of yourself. It's you prioritizing yourself.
mm, mm. Awesome. A lot of nuggets have been dropped here. I'm encouraging people who are watching to please send this to your mom, your sister girlfriend. Just forward this to them, just to at least start that conversation. And it's amazing how, in the power of community too, the me time can be coordinated.
Absolutely.
So this
Absolutely.
is
I mentioned that I host retreats, and I actually had one in Puerto Rico last week. And the thing about retreats is it's the community, being in a community of other women and seeing the struggle,
mm,
and it makes everybody feel it levels the playing field, I guess is what I'll say. It makes everybody feel like their struggle, because a lot of times we live in isolation and you feel like you're the only person who doesn't have it
Mm,
all together.
mm,
You're the only person
mm,
who can't balance keep all of your balls in the air or whatever. And when you're in that environment with other women and you're hearing the commonality of the struggle, then it helps to normalize it, and it makes you feel less marginalized and more like you have support. I
mm.
mean, everybody has everybody else's back, and you all see why it's important that we take care of ourselves.
Mm, I love it. I love it. So, Doc, I have people who are watching who are like, wow, I love this doctor. I like her A Weekend for Me theme going on. Doc, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on all social media platforms. Dr. Sharita Gaskins Tillett on Facebook and LinkedIn. Dr. Sharita SGTOB on Instagram, and my website for the retreat, www.aweekendforme.com.
Man, you said that real fast. Okay. So I'm typing that real quick. Sorry.
That's
So
okay.
that's the Instagram. You could, for those who are watching this in the comment section on Facebook and on YouTube, and then you mentioned www.aweekendforme.com.
I think
There
it
you
might
go.
be my Instagram. I don't know. That might be right. I'll let you know if it's not.
Oh, there it is. All right. So I have someone putting it up there for me. Thank you, Jeremy. So there you go. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and A Weekend for Me. There we go. So we have that. And for those of you who are wondering if you're going to have her come on to speak to a group, she can do that as well. She has a gentility
Absolutely.
about her.
Yeah, and
You're so
I love to do workshops also.
okay. Awesome. Good
Yeah.
to know. Good to know. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming. I appreciate you. A lot of lessons learned here and challenges too.
Yeah.
To
Thank you
be
for
better.
having me.
My pleasure.
You're
My
one of my
pleasure.
favorite people.
I'm sending you a hug, making me blush laugh.
Lots of kisses.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Sharita. I really appreciate you. And thank you all for watching. Those of you who watch live, those of you who watch a replay, as always, caring and sharing. Please forward this to people. This is powerful, as simple as it appears to be. And on that note, if you or anyone you know is looking for a thorough, a caring, and a passionate family physician who have conversations like this to help you live long and well, I am she. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much,
Take
Doc.
care. Bye bye.
All right.
Thank
Bye.